Welcome to the MindView 7 upgrade video featuring Baseline. MindView has rapidly become one of the most popular project management tools available, and the power of the baseline has now been added to MindView's robust project management tool suite. Once your project schedule is approved, you can save a project baseline to preserve the original scope, cost, and schedule. As project scope creep occurs, you can create additional baselines as needed. You can toggle baseline information on and off in MindView's Gantt view and reference it in the calculation module. You can choose to continue working in popular tools such as Microsoft Project or Microsoft Excel by exporting from MindView and including the baseline information. Let's start by creating an initial baseline. Under the Gantt tools, I locate Project Baselines, and I choose to create my first baseline. For this example, we'll name my first baseline Initial Plan, and I choose OK. So let's say that the initial project schedule changes. Let's say identify major modifications, changes from 5 days to 7 days. Hiring the contractors changes to 6 days, and the floor plans change to 13 days. I can then choose to navigate to the Design tab and show the baseline information to track the changes that have taken place based on the updated durations of the tasks. I can choose to hover the baseline to see the information displayed: the baseline start, the baseline end, and the duration. For this example, I also have displayed the costs column, which I can then choose to include the baseline cost. The baseline cost will now be displayed, showing the difference from the initial plan to the new updated project schedule. Since the original cost was less than the new updated cost, I would need to go back to get approval. If my project schedule is then approved, now would be a good time to create an additional baseline. In this case, I'll call this baseline Revised Project Schedule and choose OK. So now I can choose under Design to display my new plan. As you can see, there's no changes, but if I choose to then update a task again, that information will be displayed compared to the baseline info. So the important thing to understand is that you can have multiple baselines, but the one that's set as default is the one that's used throughout the system. In this case, the default baseline Revised Project Schedule is the one that's shown in the baseline cost, as well as the one that's carried through to the exports to Microsoft Project or Microsoft Excel. Let's show an example of exporting this information to our project reports. I'll choose File, Export, Project Reports. Here you see the project report. I can expand Baseline and view tasks by resource and see the baseline information that was set as default in MindView. I can easily toggle between baselines to set a new default under the Design tab, Baseline, and choose my initial plan. And this will toggle the baseline on and off for comparison. This information can then be exported to Microsoft Project, Microsoft Excel, or used in MindView's calculation module. Let's say we'd like to make an example to show the difference between the cost and the baseline cost. I'll label this difference and create my formula. We'll take cost and subtract it by baseline cost. And then choose to display this information in a column. We can now see the difference between the original schedule and the baseline, and I can in turn toggle between the two which will display the differences between the various baseline information.